The first myth that we saw is the sun is supposed to savage the earth, or the sun will produce lethal eruptions of solar flares in 2012, turning up the heat on humans, and the planet will basically be fried, is what the first one that we have researched.
So you want a response to that?
Yes.
Well,
is this possible, or is it just...
Some of it, what happens is that there's a grain of truth, as with all myths, and that is that the sun goes through an 11-year cycle. So the sun is a variable star. It goes through periods of heightened activity associated with sunspots. So every 11 years or so, you see the number of sunspots really blow up on the sun. A sunspot is really a region of the sun that is slightly cooler, but it's also associated with tremendous magnetic fields. So these magnetic fields are also responsible for the ejection of material called coronal mass ejection. And when people refer to 2012, it just so happens that 2012 roughly coincides with what we call a solar maximum. Solar maximum number of spots.
Mm-hmm.
So that showed the basis of the myth. The other prediction that people were playing along with 2012 was that it looked like the 2012 cycle peak of the solar maximum was going to be tremendous, and we saw that before 10 years. 10 years before, we were talking about 2000. 2002, 2003, and so forth. Now, that didn't actually happen. We're not seeing a tremendous peak. And it's kind of iffy trying to figure out when that peak of the number of sunspots actually takes place. And it just hasn't materialized. Now, that is not to preclude that in 2013 there might be some major eruptions from the sun. And the danger there is that when you have an ejection of the sun, the way that physics works is that we are bombarded by a whole set of charged particles that get carried by the Earth's magnetic field onto the northern latitudes. And we've known in the past that that is enough to knock power stations. You get induced currents in long, high voltage power lines. And that would be the danger behind that. But that's not going to be a tragic frying of the entire surface of the Earth. There is no prediction, scientific prediction, that says for certain that that was true. And certainly the Mayas, the ancient Maya, did not actually have a prediction associated with the sun at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.